Dear Professor Kabbat, as our host during this conference, ministers, heads of United Nations agencies, excellencies, distinguished participants. I'm very happy to be with you this morning and to be taking part on this opening session of IIASA's 40th anniversary conference. I know that speakers and delegates have come here to the Vienna Hofburg from all over the world, as it was mentioned already from Professor Kabbat. I wish you a very interesting stay in Vienna, a very successful conference, and I hope you all feel well here in the capital of Austria. Vienna is a very nice city with great hospitality, and you have to concentrate on the conference, of course, but a few hours for museums or for other cultural activities should be reserved. Ladies and gentlemen, this conference will be an excellent forum for extending discourse and cooperation on the many scientific issues of a high political and economic relevance, which are being tackled by IIASA, such as sustainable development, energy, climate, equity and poverty, food and water, etc. As it was said already, IIASA was founded in 1972. And I remember very well the beginning and the time of negotiations on IIASA, when it still was an idea and a project. The late 60s and the early 70s was a time when the West and the East began late enough to understand that Cold War is not really serving the interests of mankind. On the contrary, the arms race is consuming too much resources, which are badly needed for other goals. It was, for instance, the time when the Helsinki Agreement was negotiated. It was finally finished and signed in summer 1975. I was a young member of the Austrian Parliament, and our Prime Minister was Bruno Kreisky, when the American President Johnson and the Russian Prime Minister Kosygin agreed that scientific cooperation in the international community, and in particular between the United Nations and its allies and the Soviet Union and the allies in the Eastern Bloc, should be increased. It was autumn of 1972 when the negotiations for the International Institute of Applied System Analysis were successfully finished. Austria offered the Luxembourg Castle as a venue for this institute, and the Austrian government reported happily to the Austrian Parliament that this proposal, this offer, was accepted. And the history of IIASA in Austria, Luxembourg, was ready to start. The first German was Mr. Gvigiani. And if I remember well, he was the son-in-law of Prime Minister Kosygin, so he had a very close and short connection to the leadership in Moscow, and IIASA had a real full support from the West and from the East. A success story was ready to start. One could describe the further development year by year, maybe that the collapse of communism in Europe created even some difficulties for IIASA, because a part of the raison d'être was not existing anymore, but these difficulties were successfully solved, or they were overcome, and IIASA now is in a period of advancement and of success and of reaching progress. IIASA launched a new strategic plan to take your agenda through to the year 2020. This plan and the way it is unfolding reflects how the world has changed since the turn of this millennium. The interconnectedness of our world is showing itself in ways that would have been unthinkable even 10 or 15 years ago. The systems analytic science you are conducting at IIASA is allowing you to look at the interconnectivity even more widely and deeply. It is helping you to find better solutions to the world's problems, more focused and more powerful solutions that will improve human well-being, that are timely, and that will be cost-effective. This year you have launched and published the Global Energy Assessment, a most comprehensive science-based assessment of the global energy system ever. The GEA's approach is the one to be listened to and adopted by policy planners and governments, namely to take a holistic view of the major challenges of the 21st century. And the part energy plays in them, I hear that you are planning a global water assessment that will look at water futures and solutions. Water supply, use and consumption within that same kind of holistic framework. Ladies and gentlemen, you are here to look back to the last 4 decades and to look for the future work. 40 is quite a good age, I believe. Austria is still proud to have been a part of your evolution and wishes you many successful years ahead, as well as a most enjoyable and productive conference. Thank you very much, and all the best for the future.